Have you ever noticed that when it comes to something, you can know it up here and you know every detail, especially when it comes to trauma, because you'll still have all those symptoms in your body that are uncomfortable? That's what we're going to talk about today, and how trauma shows up and what healing really looks like. I'm a trauma specialized psychotherapist, and I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's my passion. So welcome to the video. I hope you learn a lot. It's about defenses. That's what it's about. It's about defenses. The thing is, when we've had trauma, we have to survive. And the way we do that is to develop defenses. And one of the most common defenses I see is what we call intellectualization. And what it means is you probably feel really emotionally intelligent. You probably feel you know all the details. You know the buzzwords. You feel like you've done this stuff. But if you're still getting symptoms, if your relationships are still being impacted, we got to go deeper. We got to go into the feelings, and we've got to get you processing the trauma that's stuck back here in that reptilian brain. We got to get you away from this. No, definitely not aware in the moment. What it looks like sitting in this chair as a therapist, what it looks like is I'll ask you something and you'll start talking really fast. You'll answer me really quickly. The feelings aren't fast. The brain is fast, the logical stuff's what's fast. So if you answer me quickly, you're answering me from here. And my job is to say, okay, what's all going on down here? And if you feel nothing, that's the issue, and that's where we're going. So when we've had horrible experiences, the nervous system, we've lived through danger, and that flight response, okay, we either have to flee, we have to shut down, or figure out a way to be, okay? We can also freeze. So when we're wired for danger, the nervous system is constantly on alert for every little sound, everything. And we can't relax, we can't calm down. So it leads to generalized anxiety, and it just means you feel nervous all the time. So we've got to start by getting that central nervous system calmed down. And you're probably going to have to work on that with tools to manage it your whole life. So the phrase response, I think of it as when you're overwhelmed, right? So when you have that, you may notice that if tons of information comes at you, you kind of too much overload. A freeze response is an extreme version of that happens in trauma, again, to keep you safe. Okay, so if you have an angry parent, if you act, if you do anything, say anything, it can anger them. It can anger them further. So you're gonna learn to just freeze. And it follows us because your central nervous system has been wired for that. And we've got to heal that wiring so that you start having healthier, better responses. Symptoms. I mean, the most physical symptoms are things like anxiety and depression. But sometimes I think what people don't know is the body gets weird sensations, okay? You may feel completely numb all of a sudden. Something will happen. You see a family member you know is triggering, okay? And your body goes kind of numb and weird, or you'll start feeling really sweaty. These kind of things, or you'll literally start getting sensations like you'll look down and your hand looks huge. Okay? All of these weird symptoms are connected to trauma. Yeah. The thing about trauma, especially childhood trauma, it's not more adult trauma, it's childhood trauma, is you can't learn affect regulation from somebody who's harming you. It just doesn't make sense, okay? So when you don't learn affect regulation, that's what leads to chronic pain sometimes, and what leads to things like gut issues, okay? And we're trying to regulate, but you don't learn proper affect regulation. So as you learn to regulate your feelings and feel better in the world, you're gonna find that some of those feelings may dissipate or become more manageable. So the tools I use for that are numerous. I use a whole bunch. So there's something called somatic techniques. And what that means is we're gonna get into your body and find out what's going on, okay? We're gonna find that out on an ongoing basis. So if we're talking about something, we're gonna do lots of check-ins. We're checking with your body. I do something called sand tray therapy. You can do in person or online. And it looks like when a kid is playing in the sand. And what it plays on, which is really funky, is when kids are playing in the sandbox, they're actually processing really hard stuff and deep feelings. And it looks really whimsical and playful. So we do that as adults. And we also tap into very deep, unconscious stuff in a way that feels very safe and gentle because we're getting back into that child mind. So I love doing sand tray. I also do art. You know, what's fun about art is it's really unconscious. So I can say to you, do you want to draw a hard feeling? And you can. But if I ask you just to draw, your brain is going to show me really important things and you have no idea until we talk about it. And it's really cool and surprising to see that. And it's all about getting into that brain back here, into getting into that reptilian brain that the body that holds trauma. It's not about what you think. It's about feeling it out. And these are the techniques we use to get it moving through. And once you integrate the nonverbal stuff and the physical stuff with the logic, that's what healing looks like. When I think about it coming up. As we start processing trauma, it's going to come up. And what that means is if you're numb, if you've been pushing your feelings down, you're going to start to feel. It can be kind of raw, kind of vulnerable, and we'll get you through it because it's going to be a new way of being in the world. But it also means that we're opening you up, which is what we have to do for you to heal. Because you don't want to go through life numb and not feeling anything and trying to connect with people without feelings. We need feelings to guide our life and be who we are. We can't all live up here. We need the 50-50, okay? So that we're trying to get you to that natural flow of feelings that you had before your trauma. I hope you feel you've learned a lot about trauma today. It's one of my favorite things to talk about, and I know that you can transform your life and get the life you want. So that we know that we're here, we know what we're doing, and we'd love for you to book a free consult. Free, we're here.